Hey YouTube, it's your boy Widgie here, coming at you with some more Age of Mythology Retold. And in a previous video, I looked at the potential possibility of a Japanese DLC coming in the near future. And in this video, I want to kind of delve into that a little bit more and kind of put forward a concept design or detailed look at what a Japanese Pantheon lineup would look like, unique units, potentially looking at hero units, unique abilities and bonuses for certain pantheons, all that good stuff. And of course, the main reason for this is I want to get you guys talking about this. So of course, let me know down in the comments below what you think about my ideas and concepts for the Japanese potential future DLC. All right, let's get into it. So let's get into the first unit potentially for the Japanese. A nice one I think we can start off with is the Ashigaru. Now there's many variations of the Ashigaru. If you've played games like Total War, for example, you have the Yari Ashigaru, a spear sort of wielding unit, quite light armored and can be quite deadly against cavalry. That could be a potential first unit for the Japanese. A second one, of course, is the Samurai, a potentially decent unit to be a heavy infantry unit, very good at clearing light infantry, could have area of effect. We have that in Age of Empires 3 where the Samurai has some really decent AoE damage. That could be maybe transferred over to Age of Mythology. Then we're going to go down the cavalry. We have the Yabusame, which is normally sort of wielding bows, can be quite decent, could have kind of like a Mongol-styled raiding unit that from Age of Empires 4, for example. You could transfer that into the Japanese DLC, and you could have a Yabusame cavalry unit, which would be really nice. Another cavalry unit, the Naginata. Now, this unit is on Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition, and it's a mega heavy cavalry unit, normally wielding like a lance or a very long sort of spear, you could say, or a yari, I believe. My Japanese knowledge is a little bit limited, so please do go easy on me. But the Naginata could also be another great addition. Looking at some of the artillery potentially. Now, I was looking at it, and a lot of things when I was doing some research was all around gunpowder and stuff like that, and we kind of want to maybe steer clear of that. We don't see a lot of that or any of that really in Age of Mythology. So there is a sort of large artillery piece called the Oyumi. Now the Yumi is interesting because a Yumi, you have the Yumi bowman on Age of Empires 3, but the Oyumi is a mega large Japanese style crossbow. So it's a huge piece of weaponry, and there must have been humongous bolts that were fired in these, and I don't think you could stand up holding one of them, so you'd have to have them like stationed or something like that. So maybe you could have a unit like that that's quite slow moving, has to sort of assemble maybe to then fire. That would be really cool. So another great option there for the Japanese. And one final unit, a nice hero unit. We have hero units throughout the game, and I'm not too sure how you would do it with the Japanese, whether you would do it similar to the Greeks, where you have individual unique heroes and they have a backstory and some kind of history, or whether it will be down the line of maybe the Norse, where you just have Hersers and they're all Hersers, they just maybe have different names, but they have all the same stats. This one, I've got one here, and there is a hero unit called the Yamato Tekoru, and this hero, or in sort of the stories, let's say, was a legendary warrior prince, and you could potentially have some kind of special ability where he inspires troops around him or military around him, quite similar to Arkantos from the Greeks. So that potentially could be a possibility. All right, let's get into those myth units now. And there's so much. There's a plethora of stuff that could potentially be used if you're looking at Japanese DLC. So let's have a look at the first potential one. We've got the Oni. Now, the Oni were fearsome demons known for their incredible strength and durability. Now, an ability you could have is some kind of fear aura, because they're really, really terrifying kind of myth units. If you look at some of the pictures and the artwork of them, they could potentially fear nearby enemy units. They could send them off just sort of randomly, going from sort of random directions of the battlefield, and it could be kind of amazing. So there's one definite possibility there for a myth unit. The next one is the Tengu, a crazy kind of bird-like, sort of bird/humanoid myth unit, and this one maybe could fly, but it also could come down, maybe swoop down, do some kind of attack, some kind of wind step attack or something. I've sort of named it. So that's a potential as well. Quite a light armored myth unit, but very sort of fast and speedy. Can become either an air unit or a land unit. That'd be kind of cool. Another one is the Kappa. I kid you not, it's called the Kappa, and it's a water dwelling creature. So this could be one for when you build your dock and you have a possibility of creating a myth unit that can go on water. This Kappa, it's kind of like once again, kind of a half human, half turtle-like or tortoise-like creature. Kind of a strange one, but kind of terrifying as well. If you see some of the artwork there, very, very crazy myth unit, but could be one where you could maybe create loads of them, maybe very cheap, very, very small units, but they can maybe swarm around ships or something, or there's potentially loads of possibilities. They could be amphibious. They could come out of the water and go onto land as well, and then come back into the water. So you could potentially have various myth units that are hybrid in that nature. That could be really good for the Japanese. All right, on to the next one. We have the Ryu or the Ru, which is a majestic dragon. This could be a really sort of higher tier unit later on in the game, and potentially could have like dragon breath kind of ability, stuff like that. That could be potential. We do have dragons in the game already, but maybe the Japanese could do something as well with that. Another one, we have the Komenu, or the Komenu, which is like a lion/dog, and apparently they were sort of guardians of sacred spaces in sort of the folklore of that myth unit. A certain ability could be kind of a raw ability, similar to other myth units that are currently in the game. That is another opportunity as well. And finally, I just want to top it off with a potential Titan unit. And this one could be the Susanoo, I think that's how you say it, or the Susanoo, the Storm God. So this Titan could do all sorts, could create just thunderstorms, lightning attacks, crazy kind of stuff. Loads of possibility there as a Titan unit. All right, so we're now going to move on to potential god powers that we could have in a Japanese DLC. So let's have a quick look at some of the examples and ideas that I've come up with here. So first one, we have the kamikaze wind that could be used to scatter enemies across the battlefield and disorientate. You could have the tsunami. That's kind of similar to the Chinese. They have the big tidal wave. We have divine flame. You could rain down fire from the sky and stuff like that. You could have some kind of spirit summon ability where loads of spirits just come out of the ground, for example, for some ancestral aid. Cherry blossom, classic for the Japanese, some kind of blessing there that can maybe heal units, could be an economic thing. You have the cherry blossom bushes. They could maybe provide some kind of bonus for food gathering, stuff like that. Very similar to like the lure ability that you have with the Greeks. Earthquakes we've already got as well. That could be something as well. And you could mess around with like night and day as well, maybe. Maybe you could do something that turns everything night and then somehow it stealths your units, for example. Or you could have something where it increases the light on the map. You can have loads of vision for a certain period of time. There's just a few there. Loads of things that you can do. Some are already quite similar that's already in the game, but there's quite a few there that could be some new additions. All right, let's get to the juicy, but I've saved the best till last. Some good old examples of some Pantheon choices. So the first one here we have is, I've got to try and pronounce this. It's quite sketchy. Amaterasu. So Amaterasu, focusing on light and agriculture, with bonuses increasing vision range and faster farming, for example. So there could be maybe an economic-centric pantheon there that we have. We have another one here, the Tsukuyomi, which offers advantages in stealth and naval warfare. with bonuses for fishing and nighttime operations. So once again, sort of focusing on that day-night cycle, that could be kind of cool. And finally, the Hachiman or Hachiman, which is a purely military strength, fortifications, mega sort of both offense and defense. Could be kind of fun. You could have buffed buildings or walls and stuff like that could be quite good. And also some offensive stuff there for your military units. So you could have just a baseline 1 or 2% attack or HP increase across all of your units. Maybe that scales as you age up or something like that. So there we go. 3 nice examples of some pantheons for you. So guys, that is going to wrap up my thoughts. I really want to get an idea of what you guys think about this, and I want to get you guys talking. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about my ideas. Are you sold on the fact that it is going to be Japanese? I have seen some comments on my previous video saying it could just be stuff to do with the Chinese campaign. So don't sort of let that lead you astray and think that it is going to be the Japanese. But all in all, what do you guys think? I want to get you guys talking. Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, I will catch you in the next video on the next stream. I'll catch you later, guys. Bye.